Ready for a deep dive into a book that's going to make you think differently?
Oh yeah, we're talking He Lives in a Parallel Universe by Sunny Jetsun. Buckle up.
So not your average page turner, I'm guessing.
Not even close. Think more like a kaleidoscope of thoughts and experiences all jumbled together. It's wild.
Good or wild, what am I reading?
It's definitely an experience. Imagine overhearing bits of conversation in the most interesting place you can think of.
Okay, like eavesdropping in a philosophy seminar with a side of poetry slam and maybe some interesting imagery thrown in.
You're getting there. Jetson actually wrote this book based on his conversations in Anjuna.
Goa.
Goa. Yeah.
Known for its spiritual seekers and, well, everything else.
Exactly. It's all infused in the book, like this line, coconut meteorites landing on your roof.
Okay, I can already feel the Goan vibes, but is it all sunshine and coconut metaphors?
Let's just say, Jetson likes to keep things interesting. You might be vibing on the beach and then, bam, you hit a line like, engorged psychedelic clitorizes. Go and find out for yourself.
Wow. Talk about a shift in gears.
See, he makes you think differently. And that's the point. It's playful, it's provocative.
I bet. I can definitely see how that could be jarring for readers, especially those expecting a typical story.
It's like someone dropped into a brand new city for the first time. A little overwhelming, maybe even a little disorienting.
You don't know which way to turn first, what to focus on, sensory overload.
Exactly. And that disorientation, that's intentional. Jetson wants us to question how we see the world, how our perceptions shape our reality.
So the style is part of the message. It's not just what he's saying, but how he's saying it.
Exactly. And as we unpack these fragments, you'll see how they connect to some really profound ideas. It's like
trying to find the forest for the trees, right? How do you even start making sense of it all?
Well, think about it. Our minds jump around all the time. One minute you're thinking about what's for dinner, the next you're remembering a childhood memory. But it all connects somehow, right?
I guess so. It's just that Jetson takes those mental leaps to a whole other level.
Exactly. He's mirroring those internal connections we made, those leaps in consciousness. And as we journey through these fragments, bigger ideas begin to emerge, like threads weaving through the whole thing.
So what are some of those threads, those core ideas that Jetson keeps coming back to?
One of the biggest is consciousness and perception. Jetson really digs into the nature of reality itself, questioning what's real, what's an illusion. Like, how much of what we experience is shaped by our own minds?
It's like that line, I create my own reality, how you see it, you can relax in it, feel its resonance, see how it flows by itself through duality. It's powerful stuff.
Exactly. It's like he's saying, hey, you're not just watching the movie, you're directing it too.
Right.
We have this power to shape our own experiences, our own realities. But it's not just about individual consciousness. Jetson also explores those bigger, more spiritual ideas.
Right, like those mentions of gurus and chakras, that kind of thing. There's a definite mystical vibe going on.
It's like he blends Eastern spiritual traditions with Western esoteric ideas. It's this whole exploration of interconnectedness, of tapping into something larger than ourselves. And it makes sense when you consider the setting that inspired it all.
Goa, right. That melting pot of spirituality and alternative thinking.
Exactly. Imagine being surrounded by people, exploring different ways of thinking, experimenting with consciousness. It's a breeding ground for these kinds of ideas.
But it's not all incense and meditation, is it? Jetson doesn't shy away from the heavier stuff.
Not at all. He's pretty critical of societal structures. Things like war, greed, corruption. He even calls out specific figures like the Black Pope. It's like he sees the darkness in the world and refuses to sugarcoat it.
And he does it in such a striking way, placing those harsh realities next to moments of beauty and spiritual insight, like, they free, don't be stubborn, their lights over Phoenix, there's a lot of traffic UP there and it's not ours. It's funny, but it's also unsettling at the same time.
That's Jetson for you. One minute he's making you laugh, the next he's making you question everything you thought you knew. It's like he's constantly pushing us to see the world with fresh eyes.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to society, showing us both the beauty and the ugliness, the light and the shadows.
Absolutely. And that's where it gets really interesting. How do we reconcile those two extremes?
Right. How do you embrace personal freedom and spiritual exploration when faced with all the darkness and suffering in the world?
That's the question, isn't it? But maybe that's the point. Maybe it's about holding those two opposing ideas in our minds at the same time, embracing the complexity.
It's like he's saying life's messy, get used to it.
And maybe even find beauty in that mess. Because even amidst the chaos, there's still potential for growth, for connection, for finding your own truth. And that's where Jetsun's fragmented style comes in.
How so?
He's not giving us the answers on a silver platter. Instead, he throws all these seemingly disconnected pieces at us and says, here, you figure it out.
It's like a puzzle where you have to find the missing pieces yourself.
Exactly. He's inviting us to actively engage with the material, make our own connections, and discover our own meaning within the chaos. It's challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. The Parallel Universe isn't a book you just read, it's a book you experience. You have to be willing to get a little lost, to embrace the unknown.
It's like he's saying, hey, reading doesn't have to be this passive thing where you just absorb information.
Right, it can be this active process of discovery, of making your own meaning. Like, we're so used to wanting all the answers laid out for us, but Jetsun's like, nope, you got to work for it a little.
He's definitely not spoon-feeding us anything. It's refreshing, actually.
It is. And that's where that fragmented style comes in. It forces you to slow down, to really think about what you're reading and how it connects to your own experiences.
Instead of just trying to get to the end of the book, you're forced to be present in each moment, in each fragment. It's almost meditative in a way.
Totally. And I think that's part of the beauty of it. By embracing the chaos, by letting go of that need for everything to be neat and linear, you open yourself up to a whole new level of understanding. It's like, well, imagine you're exploring a new city.
Okay, I'm picturing cobblestone streets, maybe a street market with all sorts of interesting smells.
Yeah. And you don't have a map, so you just wander and see where the city takes you. You might stumble upon hidden courtyards, meet fascinating people, discover things you never would have found if you'd stuck to the main tourist route.
It's about embracing the unexpected, those serendipitous moments that make a journey truly memorable.
Exactly. And in a way, that's what reading Jetsun is like. He's our guide, leading us through this uncharted territory of thoughts and experiences. We might not always know where we're going, but that's part of the thrill, right?
Definitely. There's something exhilarating about venturing outside of your comfort zone, about challenging your assumptions. It's in those moments of uncertainty that we often grow the most.
Absolutely. And that's what Jetsun leaves us with, I think. A sense of wonder, a desire to keep exploring, to keep questioning, like he's opened a door to a whole new way of seeing the world. And it's up to us to step through it.
To forge our own path.
Exactly. And maybe that's the ultimate message of he lives in a parallel universe. We all have the power to create our own realities, to find our own meaning in the midst of all the chaos. It's about embracing the unknown, trusting our intuition, and being open to the infinite possibilities that exist within and around us.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. If our beliefs shape our reality, what kind of reality are you choosing to create? That's something to ponder as you delve into the world of Sunny Jetsun. Until next time, keep exploring those parallel universes and keep diving deep.